Hello, everyone. Welcome to Amazing Skill Month. That's such a dull begin. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Amazing Skill Modelers Across the Pond Hangout. I'm your host extraordinaire, Jack. And Amazing Skill Modelers is a Google Plus and Facebook communities of skill modelers, reaching across all skill modeling genres and mediums and to encourage friendships from around the world. Today, we hope you will find it to be an important source of information about the hobby, hear about something new, and see firsthand the scale modeling experience. And today, joining me are the usual suspects to help me kill this time and doing other things too, and talking about other things. This is a talk show. We're going to talk about skill modeling. And if you want to join us, the live chat is open. So if you don't have a camera or mic, you certainly can participate. So bring your questions, comments, all are welcome. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment, and make suggestions. So let's, this is post Wonderfest. I gotta wash my hair, I gotta take a shower, I gotta do a lot of things, but it was wonderful, as Wonderfest will attest. And I've seen not just myself being a first-timer there, but there have been other first-timers there as well. It was a great weekend. We'll get more into it as the show progresses. I'd like to also mention that the Amazing Skill Modelers does have group builds. We've got the real space. Of course, today I'm going to show you the community covers that I have chosen. They are not real space, but I thought I'd just get some spaceships out there. So build your real space and see if you can become the next community cover, as well as a wood build. I haven't seen any wood builds. We need wood builds. We need wood builds to put on community covers. So if you so dare to go back to the roots of scale modeling and build a wood build, I'm kind of like chickening out myself, but one of these days I will do it. And also nautical, navy, something that floats on water, boats. That would be the third thing. Yeah, please build those too. So if you really want to strike favor with me and become community cover, you know what to do, is to build those community builds. So that's how I choose them. If you strike my fancy, I will put you on as community cover. It's completely democratic, I'll tell you. So anyhow, without further ado, let's get started with all the modelers that have joined us today. And we always start, almost always, we start with Heath. How you doing, Heath? How's the land down under?
Very cold, getting very cold. Getting very cold. We've just hit winter over here, so, and yet I'm wearing a short sleeve shirt. Go figure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm good. I've been sick. Last week I was sick all the way through last week. Had a bad case of what people call pink eye. Arr, I was a pirate for a while. Arr. Which leads into nautical week. Yeah. But no, I did some more work on my, as people know, I've been working in my Excelsior, and guess what? I did exactly what you said to do, Jack. I have painted the nacelle, the top of the inside out, and look how it turned out.
Very pretty.
Very nice. And by the way, this paint, the colour paint I made myself. So it's basically what I did was I 3 parts white and a couple of drops of blue, and that's how I got that lovely colour.
Nice.
And I've also put the secondary hull together. Everything. Now, a lot of people are asking how I did that bit there. You know how I did that? I got an earbud and used it as a roller. To go around the edge there, where this part, the top part, meets the bottom section here. So that bit's done. As you can see, I've got the photon bay there, and there's the cargo bay there. I thought I had put the deflector dish in there, but I did not. But I painted that also from the outside. And this is how, well, I don't know if you've ever, well, people have seen the Excelsior before, but that's how it's going to look. You just see that.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I was going to actually leave the housing grey, but I thought, nah, do white. Do white, because you got to match the ship. Now, as you can see, no, look at that paint job. Disgusting. I'm going to have to get some more white paint and basically paint the bits where the blue has, you know, and it's happened on the back too. I'm a shocking hand painter. Shocking hand painter. But as you can see, that's how it's going to go.
It looks like a downforce.
It does, doesn't it? But it ain't. That's for these buttons. If I can just get this stay on the whoop. That's for these lovely things that we call nacelles.
The WAP engines.
Here you come. No, wrong side.
That's why.
But there you go. So like, just use that as an example. God damn it. There we are. Like that.
There you go.
There we go. There, like that. But I'm happy to say that the neck is on. This is ready now for clear. This is ready now for a clear coat. So that's all ready to go. And then after I've done all that, put the nacelles together, put on the, put them on. Bob's your uncle. One Excelsior done. Oh, as well as engines, stand. So yeah, that's well on the way. That's well underway. Other builds I've got to finish are my 2 rally cars, which are a 2005 Subaru and a 1997 Mitsubishi Lancer, which I've been trying to get finished from last year. So that's going to be my next 2 kits. So yeah, but you know, it helped me get over my. It gave me something to do when I was sick during the week. So yeah. But back to the course after the public holiday on Monday. So back to the grindstone. So that's me done.
Oh wow!
Quickly, slightly.
Quick, slightly. Yeah, I'm pretty slim on things too on my workbench, but I have an excuse, I guess. I haven't seen you in a while there, Heath. You're looking well.
I'm very well. I've been I've been looking after myself. I've really, since I've been doing my course, I've been really cut down on my food intake and everything like that, because I'm walking to the bus stop, walking to where I have to go, and then walking back home again. And I've been trying to look after myself as much as I can, because I want to be here for my little girl, you know. And you know, I can't complain. I'm feeling fine. I'm feeling good. It's I really, to be honest, I think, to be really honest, this is the first time I've had conjunctivitis, is what we call it over here. But I think I needed a break from what I was doing, because it was just waking up. I had to wake up most mornings at about 5:30 in the morning, just so I can catch my first bus to get to where I have to go. And it's like, oh.
Yeah.
When you get sick, you know when you need a break. You know what I mean?
I'm sure.
But I've been watching your Wonderfest videos, Jack, and I must admit, I'll tell you what, I'm in awe at some of those ships.
The ships.
The monsters were good too. Between Lou's Wonderfest videos and your Wonderfest videos. I've been watching them both back to back to see who I missed, if you know what I mean.
Yes, yes.
But I have to say it's great to see that your partner's getting into the model, getting into the.
Oh, we'll see.
Danger! Of course, that would be the one. I saw that.
There was a room with what? 8 of those, Lou? 8 of those.
Yeah, there were 8 robots in that room, I'd imagine.
I was interested in when I saw the first video, Jack. When you first put that up, I was so interested in that film that you watched about the painter
Chesley. Yeah, Chesley.
Yeah. Some of that stuff, you can't half tell that it's from movies. You can't half tell that it's from movies.
Yeah, Chesley Bromwell?
Yeah.
The documentary was very well done. I have to say, documentaries is like, if you're interested in a subject, you go, huh, oh, that's interesting. Huh, that's interesting. But this documentary, I kept shutting my mouth because I didn't realize how incredibly the fourth sight that he had, because the guy was born like in 1886 or 89 or 88 or so, 1888. And I mean, he was born almost what seems like 2 centuries ago. And his ability to see into the future as he did, as accurately as he did, just based on talking to the scientists, to the engineers, the man was brilliant. And he was also very well known in architecture. In fact, he sold the Golden Gate Bridge to the powers that were at the time to have it built. So he was an extraordinary man, and they have film clips of him are very rare. And the sense I got from the man himself is he was just doing his job. I could tell with some of the painting that it looked like that the color that he used was very, very earthy. Oh yeah,
earth-like, earth color-like. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. Well, that was I think the whole magic about his work is that he brought the unknown down to earth and made it relatable to that was his whole thing. That was about the whole documentary, about things we just don't know anything about, and made it relatable. So I hope that documentary makes its round, and I hope scale modelers of all shapes and sizes and genres get to see that, because it wasn't just about space, it was about other things too. And he did a lot of other things, and his life was just extraordinary to see the things that had occurred in the 20th century when he was alive. He was at the right time at the right moment. You always get that one person in history that was there at the right time at the right moment with the right talent and so forth. And Chesley was certainly one of those figures. And in the talk afterwards, I compared him to Da Vinci, actually. So
I think that I was thinking that same thing, Jack. I was thinking exactly that same thing. That's very Da Vinci-like. Mm-hmm. You know, and I also thought of Jules Verne too.
Oh yeah, Jules Verne. Yeah, in a way, yes, definitely.
In a way, because Jules Verne was ahead of his time as well. I mean, War of the Worlds, 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, and plus all the other ones he wrote and everything. And also a bit of Poe too. Yeah, there we are. He painted the future, and how did he know? Yeah. This
is the card that the writer, director, producer, I always forget his name, Mr. Stewart, handed out.
I mean, is that looks like Saturn to me.
Well, it is.
Well, there you go. Ding, ding, ding. What do you got for him, Johnny?
Well, it was a scene off of Titan, but we know Titan would not have blue skies. It is, yeah, but still at the same time, the accuracy. It's the first time we've seen, quote unquote, Saturn in a phase, like in a crescent phase. So I think that's the whole idea behind this whole thing is that he was able to get this imagined and get it out there to people. So,
I mean,
if you want to know, if you're watching and what Heath is referring to, I put together a series, 4 videos for Wonderfest. The first one was, I called it The Weekend in a Nutshell. And I explain and show more of his work in a slideshow within the video. So I'd encourage you all to take. In fact, one of the pictures was the one of the foundations of the Golden Gate Bridge. I don't know what they call them exactly when it comes to bridges, like anchors, arbors, or something like that. But it was a cutaway view of what the bridge is built upon. And he took engineer drawings, engineer calculations, and he painted these paintings to be able to sell the bridge to the powers that were, because they couldn't, those folks couldn't relate to the engineers' numbers, and they couldn't imagine how it would be built. So he made a whole series of paintings that would explain how it will be built, what it would look like, etc. In fact, there is a kind of a museum near the Golden Gate Bridge about the bridge itself that has all his paintings there, and these paintings are literally priceless. So if you're ever near or going to San Francisco, definitely look that museum up, because it's not just real space. I mean, or space. He did other things. He even did paintings of a mansion that was in the opening credits for the 80s TV show Dynasty.
Oh, good God.
He actually was a designer of that. He was an architect by trade. And he was the architect for that mansion, which is in Colorado, ironically enough. Yeah, the documentary was just absolutely amazing. I can't, like I said, there's some documentaries you kind of like say, oh, that's an interesting fact, but this just left you speechless. And he wasn't. I don't think he was a humble man. I think he was more of a guy that felt he had a job to do, and he went and did it, and he let the cards fall where they may.
Let's hope Netflix picks it up. Let's hope Netflix picks it up.
Yeah, I think that it could do. I think it could be good on Netflix or Amazon Prime. I think it could sell that way. I don't think it would be. It's too niche-like for it to be like on broadcast or anything like that.
You can see that on the History Channel or on Science.
Audience.
History or Science, yeah, that would be a good idea too. I hope he sells it I think the general public should know about this guy, because
I think I think the way we're talking about it now, it would be great for us as modelers to actually see what we can be able to achieve, and what we can think of, and what we can think up. I mean, exactly with Ken and his scratch building and stuff like that. I mean, people are doing not a day goes by when I'm on the Facebook site that there's not one person who's not doing something space or Star Trek or Star Wars, like all the fantasy stuff. But to see someone actually take a model kit and sort of like put it up against the backdrop, like the artist that you just said, which I can't remember his name, from that documentary, it would be interesting to see how it would really look. You know, geez, we're talking about science here. We're supposed to be models.
You did touch upon something. He did scratch build these spaceships to paint them. To turn around and paint them. Yes, he did, in the documentary, it explains the way he did it. A lot of the spaceships that you see in his paintings, he actually scratch built it coming off of engineers' drawings and calculations. And when you see, it's really funny because when you see like one of those Luna rocket ships, if you know what I'm saying. It looks like a V2 sitting on an alien world, and then you see the door way at the top. And he was asked about what about the ladder, and he says, "Well, it just gets in the way." So he did very few ladders in his paintings, and also he scratch built a lot of that stuff. And unfortunately, in the discussion we had afterwards, I think there's maybe one or two has survived. But this man, I mean, he's got a buttload of paintings. I mean, this guy just painted like it almost seemed like he didn't sleep or eat. And he scratch built models. He was an architect. Architects do scratch build their designs and their buildings to sell them. So
the best model makers.
So Mr. Stewart had presented it to us modelers only because of his ability to take something that's a vague idea and make it tangible, make it real. And he did mention that in the discussion afterwards. And I asked if he had shown it to any of the architecture students. He says, not yet, but what he made the remark is that anybody watching this will find some interest of their own in it. Architects, people who like space, people like painting, like my partner, he studied art and painting and graphics in college, and he too was glued to the fact that he painted, and then he painted so well. Yeah, I mean, it was something for everybody in that documentary.
Is Mac gonna like that robot?
I don't know. we'll see. Okay, so moving on. Now, without further ado, let's go to Jim. How you doing, Jim? I'm sorry we delayed you there.
Sorry,
No, that's okay. Fine. Yeah, on the modeling front, not a lot get done. Actually, not a lot get done, period, this week. So many other things going on.
Like good weather, huh?
Yeah, like good weather. And so I'm out a lot. I did some rearranging on my bench.
I've done some more work on the bench.
Wait. Let's get drive.
Oh, look, it's a shiny head.
Yeah. Yeah, I put the shelf up so I get my test equipment
on
the top of my bench. So that's one thing I did with the extension.
Machinery. Look at all that fine machinery.
Yeah.
Couple of $100,000 worth there.
Oh my goodness.
So
I say they tummy of velociraptors there.
You know what? Hell with the thousands of dollars of radio equipment. You got a velociraptor there.
Yeah. Isn't that the little box on top of your equipment there?
The little box?
Yeah.
This one? That's all test probes.
No. There's a Tamiya box up there.
Oh, this one.
Yeah, it's not a velociraptor.
Velociraptor.
Just seeing the glimpse of it, I thought it was the
Oh, it's a German officer.
little box of
It's a Nazi officer.
No,
Yes.
Aaron.
He's been in my hand.
Yeah, so more shopping. I've ordered some more test equipment. But One thing I did is when I went up to buy some parts, I bought a small spool of A conductor cable for doing hookup for my wiring and that. It's a lot cheaper. That's 10 meters in there.
That's a lot.
That's A conductor, about 20. That's about 20 gauge. 20 gauge wire, so it gives you 8 different colors that you can work with for hooking things up with in my models and that. Cheaper than buying individual wire. And that's about it. Oh yeah. Now something else I got. Heavy boat anchor. If you're looking for some more really good information for your electronics, for your model building and understanding electronics in general, get one of these.
Ah.
The ARRL Amateur Handbook. Now it's a heavy read, but it covers almost all electronic theory in here. But it does it in a good method, understanding. It doesn't try to blow your head out of your skull. It tries to get you understanding and why. And it covers everything. So it's a very good resource material. I've had a couple of these over the years. I know I got 2 other ones. I got one from 1950 and I got one from 1975. But this is the new one for this year. They're about $70, but they're well worth it.
Oh yeah.
For the information. And really, that's about it from me for right now.
Oh, okay. Well, gee, you are spending time outside, aren't you?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh,
Well,
yeah.
you've got the scooter on the road. I don't.
Yeah. Also for today, once we're done here, I've got to go up to the Arbor Museum. We got our tank days today, as well as the AMPS model show is on too. So I got that to go to too.
Oh, nice. You're gonna take the scooter up there?
Pardon?
A scooter?
Oh yeah.
You're gonna scooter your way up there?
Scooter my way up.
Can anybody? Just a little test. Can everybody hear me?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yep.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Oh, very good. Gee, as soon as I got back, I called Jim. So, poor, Jim's such a nice guy. I mean, it was getting late, and he was like tired, and he had to listen to me drone and gush. So, Jim's a good guy. Thanks, Jim. And we're going to share here the Facebook. I think it is the Facebook community cover. Am I right?
That to me, I don't know what show that's from, but it looks familiar to me.
Space
This is Space Academy.
Space Academy?
Mm-hmm.
That's what our member Ogie Gonzalez says.
All right. It looks like he's got the front.
Space Academy was like a spin-off of Jason of Star Command. And I think that was also used there.
You know what that front nose looks like?
The Arc 2?
The Imperial Shuttle.
That's
the Imperial Shuttle.
I can see that.
Mm-hmm.
But this was like 74, 75.
Oh, I wasn't even born in 75. I wasn't even born until 75.
Yeah.
I was only a youngin'.
I mean, his photographic prowess is just amazing. I saw this. I'm like, he made the stand disappear. He's got the glow, and it is lit. The back end is lit. I'll show you momentarily the different views that he had posted. But this is the community cover for the Facebook community, and you know, it's really funny because Matt watches a lot of Gordon Ramsay on TV, and a lot of the stuff, it's like the dishes that they cook. I mean, I just slop it on a plate, but presentation matters too. And I think though, if you put an effort into making a presentation, even if you don't think you're the greatest modeler in the world, okay, even if you are you're honing your skills, and don't be afraid to show your work. Absolutely, please don't be afraid, because as long as you put it on the plate, in other words, if you try to do your best to photograph it, like this is probably Photoshopped. The Starfield is probably Photoshopped in, so is the glow of the engines. If you present your work well and it shows well, it's just awesome. It's just awesome. So you might be honing your skills for the hobby itself, but there's other skills that you might have, such as what Ogie has here. And even this, a simple stand, a simple background, he just presented it. It's just like I said, like if you're like a chef, you present your dishes in a way that's appealing. You don't know the dish until you taste it. Same here. I mean, you see it and it looks great. It was presented well. And then you can take a closer look at the work. And I think that's the thing about Wonderfest that I was kind of disappointed in, is that the lighting in that room in some spots was bad. And I really couldn't video or photograph it fair enough. So when I did the videos I made them short and sweet. I did the ones that were well lit, the well done, and I just didn't throw everything up on the wall and presented it. There's a lot on the quote-unquote editing room floor because I didn't want to show someone else's work in a bad way. And it's not the fault of the modeler at Wonderfest. It's just the room itself has its warm and well-lit spots, and then has its spots that are pretty dark and shadowy. And I think Lou can attest to that.
Oh, nice.
And I just didn't want to, just put anything up there. So if you are a builder, have watched my videos, and you don't see your work there, you think you're the best, you probably are. But that will be the reason why I didn't use it, is because when it came out the other end and looked at it, I just thought the ones that I could represent as fairly as possible. So Ogie here has his talent for photography, and I love this build too, just the same. Very, very well done. So it's actually neat and clean, don't you think, Lou?
Yes, yes. Jack, if I could interject a moment here. There were folks from Fine Scale Modeler there who were taking pictures for their magazine, and what they asked you to do was actually to remove it from the table and bring it over to their specific lighting setup so that they could take the best pictures possible. And yes, that's a big ballroom. You're never going to get it's not museum quality lighting, but by the same token, I think it puts everybody on the same level playing field as far as their finish. If you can't hide it in the dark, is what I'm trying to say.
I'm also seeing the
V-ship. Anything extra to do that? Did you?
What's that?
It didn't cost anything extra, did it?
Oh, it didn't cost a thing. It was something they wanted to do so that they could put it in their magazine.
Yeah, so it was their decision. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I did see you by chance. I was there when you had the pilot put up on that photography table.
Yeah, they asked me for about there were 4 different kits of mine they wanted to take pictures of. So look, you may find it in your local, in the November issue of Fine Scale Modeler.
I thought I had photographs of that. I will look for them and see if I have, because Matt took pictures of your work being worked on from behind their camera.
Oh, that would be neat to have.
Yeah, I have to find them, and I'm not sure where they're at this very split moment. But if I find them during broadcast, I'll put them up for us to share, and of course I'll share it with you too, just the same.
Sure.
Well, you're next, Lou. So
I didn't do anything this week. I'm sorry. I was busy.
Busy
No,
polishing models.
actually, after I came back on Monday, I just took a couple of days and just unpacked and decompressed and got my postpartum depression out of the way, and started gathering my resources for next week. But I went over lovingly fondled the stash of kits that I brought back. And
how'd you go there, Lou?
what's that?
Did you behave yourself, or did you just grab a whole stack?
I behaved myself. Parts that I can't remember, I'm not going to be ashamed of. But I was told I behaved myself. The rundown of the awards was 2 silvers, 2 bronzes, and 3 merits. So not too shabby.
I thought you would have got first place for that pilot, though. The pilot looked amazing.
I'd have thought so.
On a good day, maybe, but this is a crew that when you grade on this kind of a curve, you're lucky to get anything.
Is Wonderfest an IPMS?
No,
it's not, is it?
No.
So it depends on what they say.
They have an open system, and if they don't feel that anybody deserved a gold, they don't give any golds. You could have 4 or 5 silvers, 28 bronzes, and no gold, depending on how they feel the quality of the results are. Or you could have 20 golds and no silvers. I mean, it's not rigid that way. So when you see something really great, it's not like it's bumping somebody else out of place. You could also win a gold, which I think is kind of fair, because there are people in there that bring 30 or 40 kits, and it's like, well, geez, how about giving you a gold for your collection and then let somebody else have a shot? But since it is open, you can still win.
So how do they actually grade it? Do they actually grade it by
That's one of the unknown mysteries of the ages. Although you can have a immaculate build, but if they see a seam line or a thumbprint, you're out. It's all to the eyes of the judges, really. And what I like is that there is also sponsored. There are sponsored awards. Yes, Wonderfest will give you the merits, the golds, the bronzes, whatever. But there are sponsored awards from different people. Like Starship Modeler can have best teen starship and best adult starship, and it's not necessarily the same people who win the Wonderfest awards. And there's one that the ComArt people put up that's called Best Example of Something We Like, and it's probably the most fair award because it's whatever strikes their fancy, and it could be something completely off of what the normal kit winning the normal winning kits are, because they might award invention on something as opposed to finish. So I think they managed to capture the best of all the worlds.
Oh, that's all right then. Now Wonderfest is just basically the starships and spaceships and stuff like that, isn't it? But there's no cars or boats or anything.
It's not unless it's a fantasy car, because it's all fantasy and monster related. Here's a picture of some debauchery. This is taken in the Cult Suite on Saturday night, and the guy in the middle is Steve from Cult TV Man, but the lady next to her is Sybil Danning.
Yeah, I was there when that photograph was taken, and all the clothes are photoshopped in.
Yeah, yes, that's what took the longest was photoshopping in all the clothes. But you'll see that fat kid next to Sybil on her right hand side, and that's me with my eyes still open. So,
you know what? I have to admit, she was classy. I have to admit, I don't know her from another person on the street. I'm not familiar with her work. I mean, you guys. But I walked in. They had Battle of the Stars or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, with Richard Thomas. Good night, John Boy.
Good night.
And the stories that she was telling were delightful. She was just a classy lady, and I didn't say 2 words to her. And she still, upon departure, she came to me and gave me a hug and thanked me for being there. And I said nothing. I was just taking up space with Matt and drinking beer, of course.
Of course.
But she was that classy that she recognized everybody in a room, whether they said anything or not. And to me, that's class.
Yeah.
Don't you agree?
I agree. I got one more screen share I want to show, and this is what.
Where did he go?
Lou,
I think he hit the wrong button.
I think he pushed the wrong button.
Am I back? Am I back?
Yeah, you're back.
Okay. Let me see. To me, this was the most inventive thing I saw all weekend.
Holy hell! That's okay. All right. Let me see if I can get this.
Oh,
I'm pretty good at this.
I don't remember seeing that.
That is the Defiant model, which looks like the Falcon, and it also has the interstellar nose with a snow speeder back.
That's the Defiant nose.
So they've cut out the Defiant nose. Gunship battle. Okay, how many?
But it's painted to look like but it's done up to look like the Falcon. It's skinned and in the back of that is a snow speeder.
I was just saying that's a snow speeder. Yeah,
and the gun to the right of the cockpit is, I think that's off the bottom of the B wing. Looks like it.
Mm-hmm.
And that gun turret which is there looks like it's from either the Missouri or the Arizona.
But just this kind of inventiveness.
That to me, that's clever.
Yeah.
That is really, really clever.
And of course, all the paneling as well. I mean, all that paneling's been added.
And it's instantly recognizable as Falcon.
Well, a different version of it.
Yeah.
Mm.
Good God.
Oh, it's amazing.
Fabulous.
Let's see if
that cockpit must have taken a lot of time.
Here we go. Hold on. What happens to my apps here? Show app.
He's got it again.
He hit the wrong button again.
Every time I hit the show apps, it kills it. Here's the cockpit.
Holy hell! A solitary pilot? Okay.
Wow.
Good.
That's
God.
sacrilege. Look at the panels.
Back into the left as well.
If you're familiar with the fine molds kit like I am, look at the panels with the little notches in them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he had to have cut out thin pieces of styrene and laid them down with those notches. There is no way you can do that on that kit other than laying a thin sheet of styrene on top of the kit.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Those are buenos notches.
Each of those squares have been cut out.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Each of those plastic squares have been cut out and placed on the Defiant base.
And look at the upper left-hand corner. You got 2 notches on 2 separate panels that match up and align with each other.
Yeah.
Right there.
Talk about rivet counting. Look at me. Wow. It's you know what? I don't remember seeing that. There was so much there, and I pushed through that in 2.5 hours to just take videos, and I went back to take a closer look, and they had closed the room by then, and I'm like, oh shit.
When there's more than 700 kits, you gotta take time to see them all.
I noticed the dealer room was busy as usual.
Yeah.
Oh my God, yes.
I noticed that.
That's where I spent most of my time.
when I saw, I don't know whose video it was. I don't know if you did you show the round 2 table, Jack, or was that Lou that showed the
I did
round
it
2?
in mine.
That was Lou.
Yeah,
The
because
other thing I showed was the 350 Katinga. So.
oh, now I commented on that on Lou's video. I said that Katinga is going to look like an absolute piece of work. It's going to be beautiful.
It was pretty.
I noticed that on the left-hand side, they had the Discovery stuff there. Like they had the Discovery, they had the Discovery Enterprise, and they also had the Shinzu.
Right.
All different flame and sizes, like the 350, the
Well, there was
25.
There's 1,000, the 1,400, and then there was a 1,200, I think.
Yeah. And
2,500.
2,500, sorry.
I can't believe the size of that Oberth. That is small.
Tiny.
That kit's going to be so small. I mean, you could just as easily put that Oberth with the Enterprise, and the Enterprise would dwarf it.
Yeah.
Seriously. Not the 350 Enterprise, but the 1,000 scale Enterprise.
Yeah. Well, it was just a small scientific scout vessel.
Yeah, it wasn't a big ship.
Well, although it looks like it in the movie, you know, it looks huge. But because you didn't see the Enterprise alongside it, you don't know.
Yeah.
You know? And I mean, that bird of prey.
When they used that on Next Gen, they made it look bigger than it was.
Yeah. But in Star Trek 3, that bird of prey dwarfed it also. That's saying something because the bird of prey, the Burrell class bird of prey is smaller than the Enterprise. Now that's saying something. If that bird of prey dwarfing the Grissom, just imagine how big the Enterprise is compared to that bird of prey. And the bird of prey killed him. I mean, Star Trek 3 is my favorite Star Trek movie.
It's a lucky shot.
Next to Lucky shot, all right? Because the Enterprise was, well, no. We're not. What's this got to do with modeling? I don't know. It's just, next. I'm shutting up.
I'm going through Matt's pictures right now, and it's like, you know what? I got some more another video to do.
That
the
shuttle,
superheroes. Here we go.
That shuttle, I loved. That looked brilliant.
That's a gorgeous build. That.
I wish he'd make a kit of this. I would buy it up in a heartbeat.
Although I've never heard of the Endurance.
No. He makes his own class of ships, but I tell you, they are.
And the shuttle's named Shackleton.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that.
That just floored me. That just absolutely floored me. Look, it's just such a. He won an award for this. I know he won an award for this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a full interior.
Yeah. You'd think that was a studio model or something.
Yeah.
Studio model.
It looks like it's either next gen. It looks like it's next.
Blurry.
Is it next gen or is it original series?
No, I think it's JJ Universe. Look at the nacelle.
Yeah, kind of looks.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Universe feel to it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right.
It's gorgeous in any universe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
And there's that Falcon that I was talking about. Just back a bit. You saw the underside of the Revell Falcon, I think. There it is there.
Okay.
Oh my God. Oh my God, look at the starships. The Titan. There's a beautiful one.
Yeah, they did the Potemkin. I think that's the Potemkin that they were doing there. So the paint scheme is different from the Enterprise, which I can appreciate that. That not all the starships had the same color scheming and stuff. I thought that was a genius build. Oh my God, yes.
That is impressive.
Like I said, there was just so much there. It was very difficult to get pictures.
Who was
I have
doing
next
a
year.
model? Seriously.
Next year, instead of spending 3/4 of my time in the dealer room, I got to do that in the contest room. I have to. I absolutely
Paint job
have
on
to.
that Predator.
I'm not a big creature builder, but that Predator is beautiful.
We're talking to Lou here. I'm going to screen share what he was talking about with the fine scale modelers.
Oh, okay.
So here's a photo of the pilot in its photographic setting.
That is a great picture.
That is a great picture.
I read Lou signing a release form.
Yeah.
I read in the comments that got damaged, that the pilot got damaged, Lou.
Yeah, there's a spot on the back of his spine that the paint flaked off of, and I did my best to patch it in the hotel room. I ain't telling you where it is.
Fair enough. That's a great kit. That is a great kit.
I almost thought, here's a good picture.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So
was that a resin kit?
Matt took these pictures. He's got an eye for photography too.
That's good work.
Yeah, I'll definitely share this with you if you'd like.
Yes, please.
And I thought these were vanity shots. Actually, at the time, I thought these were vanity shots that you pay them and you get your vanity shots.
Oh no.
But no, this is for the fine modelers or fine scale
modelers magazine. Yeah.
Yep.
Is that a resin kit, Lou?
Yes.
Pilot?
That's a resin kit.
Thought as much.
Yeah. Let me do the merciless zoom in.
Yeah.
That looks brilliant.
It looks better in person. Much better.
Now that's the pilot that flew Moira, yes. Isn't it?
Yes, from your land of down under. That was all filmed in Australia and New Zealand.
I love Farscape. That was a brilliant show. It's a shame it only went for 4 seasons.
Yeah.
It's the same with Firefly too. Firefly was brilliant.
Gone too soon.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thanks. Thanks for taking those. I appreciate that.
Oh, I'll relay the message to Matt.
Yeah.
Because we were there just by like chance. We were going around the room doing. He had his camera, his iPhone, and I had my video camera, and we were just going crazy, just taking pictures and videos. Because I told him, let's just get a lot of stuff. Mm-hmm. And then I had an idea how to make my own videos. And when we came up to the one end of the tables, and there you were, just by chance, and he started snapping away, and he turns to me, he says, do you think Lou would like this? I'm like, I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
It's got me in it. Why wouldn't I like it?
Shameless self-promotion. Shameless self-promotion.
Yes, I got one other thing that I'm actually not allowed to show, but I'll give you a real quick glimpse at it.
Okay.
That's all you get. That's all you get. I'm not allowed to show anymore.
Don't say anything. Zip up, zip up, zip up. I saw that there too, and I'm like, yeah.
That's a fair size. That's a fair size.
Yeah.
That's a fair size. That lovely little thing that just came up and just went by again.
Well, somebody did share it on one of the communities. I'm not sure. I think it was Facebook. So go to the Amazing Scale Modelers Facebook if you're interested to see what that was. But Lou didn't do anything. So
hang on. Oops.
I'll blame the Russians.
I think I just knew what it was, and I just blurted it out. Can we just edit that? No, we can't. We're live.
Jack can edit it on the
All right. So moving forward and onward. How you doing, Phil?
Yeah, I'm okay, Jack. You tried to catch me by surprise again. Well, you did catch me by surprise again. Yeah. I've not been to anywhere or done a great deal, to be honest. So that's me done.
Oh, you don't get off that.
You know what, Boo? I think Lou, you upstaged him, and now he feels it. So
No, I've not done a massive amount. I haven't actually been terribly well. Not long after the last hangout, I decided I was going to have a really nice ear infection, so I haven't been very well for a little while. I'm a lot better now, but yeah.
Be cleaned off.
But,
That's two. That's two of us.
Yep.
Conjunctivitis, ear infection.
And both of you wear headsets. What does that tell you?
Don't put yourself in the eye with your headset.
There you go.
And don't poke your eye out with the arms of your glasses. Oh.
Yeah. Anyway, this isn't something I've actually done recently, but it's something that, because when we were looking at the and I thought it was a Tamiya box of Velociraptors, it reminded me of this.
Oh, that's neat.
That's actually obviously a replica 1-to-1 scale Velociraptor skull. That's actual size.
Yeah.
But can you see the little Velociraptor I put?
sure.
Yeah.
That's one of those Tamiya Velociraptors, and I put
Giant
that.
turkeys. Yep, giant turkeys.
Yep. Yeah.
You know what?
So,
I would
I think
hate
that's
to be on the
what
receiving end of that.
So I'm actually going to repaint the skull because I think it's too dark. I want to get it a bit lighter. And
You
But
know
that
what?
was
I would hate
just
to
a
be
reference.
on the receiving end of that.
yeah, it might be turkey sized, but let's face it. You know, if a cat gets nasty at you, you know it. So one of those things.
Goodbye, hand. Wallop.
They're land sharks.
Yeah, and especially when if they hunt in packs.
Mhm.
That could be my wood build.
Not
It's-
funny. Not funny. It's not funny.
Piece of what? Yeah.
That's actually out of one of the Tamiya dinosaur things as well. And I'd been cleaning up and I found it and I thought, yeah, I'm going to glue that together. I'm going to paint that up looking like wood. But yeah, joking aside, real space. I know I've shown this before, but I think I'm going to get going on the accurizing the old Airfix Saturn V. And this was like where I got to previously. With the, you know how on the Airfix one it's like little sawtooth, completely inaccurate ridges.
Yeah.
And what I did was on this one. Sorry.
Gee, what's that like? Bill, inaccurate Saturn V.
Yeah. Well, I said it. Was that the Dragon one you did?
Yes.
Yeah, but it's
That's
nowhere
a very
near as
accurate
accurate
kit.
as the Airfix one.
That's Saturn 5.
And
The
it's nice
Dragon,
and big.
the Dragon Saturn 5 is a very good kit.
It's
Very good
impressive,
kit.
but it's inaccurate as hell.
How is it inaccurate? What's the?
This is
ratio?
full
Lots of
time.
little
I don't want to
things.
take another 2 hours.
Yeah, lots of little things. But the old
Alright.
Airfix kit is got shape wise it's okay, but there was a problem with the command and service module were too small on the Airfix one, and so that's the corrected one that they actually supply now in the kits. But it didn't have much. The shroud didn't have an awful lot of detail on it, so I sort of added the detail. I don't know if you can see that.
Is that removable? The surface module?
So
it is.
command and service module are removable. The engine belt is not what came with it. The engine belt is actually an old shuttle engine bell, and I just sort of sanded off all the detail. But the shape is exactly right, and the size is exactly right.
Now, is that going to be painting that chrome or silver?
I will be painting that whatever color it's supposed to be.
Well, that's talking about the surface module.
Right.
Oh,
But
the commander. Well, the
supposed to be
the service module was sort of more of an aluminium
Yeah.
color, with white panels. That's the
Command module.
launch escape shroud on top of the service
right.
module, the command module. So that will be white. The actual command module that you get with it is a stupid tiny little thing that's about half the size it needs to be.
Bloody hell.
So I've just glued the shroud on the top of that.
That's how they made it so the shroud. They couldn't make the shrouds thin enough, so they just made the command module smaller.
To be honest, the command module is the original command module that came with it, which is even smaller than that. So, I mean, it's possible, I suppose, to perhaps vac form a shroud.
That would make sense, yeah.
And then have an accurately sized command module sitting on top, and then you could actually put it on top, but that's slightly beyond my capabilities. So that was what I thought I'd do for my real space build.
Oh, wow.
Sort of try and complete that to the best of my ability.
Yeah. You're going to strike favor with me, ain't you?
I was also looking through some of my old kits because I got loads of old kits, and of course I've got this. And that's the old Airfix. It's got its inaccuracies. The spine is too wide. There's no detail in there.
Right. No Airfix.
Yeah. But I looked at it, I thought, how can I make that look a little better? So I painted black in there, and I'd originally painted these silver, so I went over those with an off-white. It's actually my Millennium Falcon mix white, so those sort of look a little better. And then when you get looking at things like that, you start thinking, well, there's a lot of problems with it. Shall I put it apart?
The NPC one's not as bad, is it?
So I thought, shall I put it apart and accurize that one? But then I was in Parabellum on Thursday, and I saw that. So that's still that kit, but it's the deluxe version, and I'm going to accurize that.
Cool.
I also... I'll show you this. And I know the one you're talking about there, Heath. Nope, that's going to fall. Give me a second.
Hang on a minute.
You see the avalanche of model boxes coming from the side.
We hear smash, you know what's happened.
It's a tsunami.
If the UK or Great Britain was prone to earthquakes, that man would be
sorry
dead.
about that. Yeah, the 22
with all the kits would be falling on top of. But what a way to die, to be crushed by your own shaft. Oh, look at that. Yeah, I did see that. I did see something like that at Wonderfest.
Yeah, there's two. There's that one and the one with the pod. And
I don't know.
I may have both.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, you got
those are ringing
on the X-wing, Phil. Oh,
sorry.
You got the lights down the X-wing.
Yes.
God damn it! God damn it! Damn it! Damn it!
Yeah.
Damn it! Damn it! Damn it!
If only you weren't living on an island.
Yeah. And an island which is just as big as Flaming America.
I also, while I was in Parabellum, picked up that.
Oh,
yeah.
That's a good.
That's a really, really nice kit. I mean, it's very simple.
Yeah, it's
really nice.
Build.
Yeah. You know, it's not the chromed one.
Right.
So I'll have to paint it. But then again, you don't want any chrome anyway. You paint it a sort of a light coppery, bronzy color, don't you?
Scorching.
Yeah. So
I haven't seen that movie in a long time.
Yeah.
I'd rather watch the original War of the Worlds than the one that Tom Cruise was in.
I love that. I love that movie. I really do. I mean, it's cheesy as all hell, but it's a great movie.
Which one? The 1950s one or the one that...
The 50s one, the George Pell one.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I was thinking about putting the lights and sound in it.
Ooh.
You know, but then I looked at how much those sound effects and lighting units are, and it'll probably cost me 3 or 4 times what I paid for the kit.
Yeah.
With shipping and tax,
yeah. So I'm thinking maybe I'll just sort of do a bit of a little lighting thing and forget about the sounds.
Is that from Ralph?
You'd be better off do it yourself with a soundboard and an Adreno.
Is that from Ralph?
Yeah.
Bill?
Ralph.
The lights and sound kit? Yeah.
I think, is it Tenor Controls do one?
Yeah.
Tenor Controls does do it, yeah.
Yeah.
And I think, is there another one that is someone else that does it? Because I saw someone did one which was pretty good. I mean, it like, you press the 2 buttons together and then it slowly starts up. And then you get the sounds and then you can have the firing sounds and all that sort of thing. But yeah, I did look online at that one, and it's it probably cost me about 80 quid.
Well, like anything else, the kit's usually the cheapest part of the build.
Yeah. So I may just build that out the box and paint it up and just have it as a static with no.
Yeah. It's fun to do that sometimes.
I think I need to be looking more at doing out of the box builds, because otherwise I'm just going to get bogged down with stuff. But
Right.
do a few out of the boxes to keep the mojo going. And
Right. Well, I'd have to agree with you. After the Falcon, all I'm thinking of is simple builds. Keep the mojo, as you're putting it, and then go look for my next big build. I think that's the best way to do it until I get kind of used to the big builds and not spend 11 months doing a build. Big build shouldn't take that long, but it is what it is. But in the end, you're right. Do a bunch of little builds, do some accomplishments, and then moving on.
Exactly. Yeah, but if you think about it,
got to paint that little guy up as well.
Oh, there you go. Well,
if you think about this, the Falcon is a big kit. It's supposed to be a big kit.
Yeah.
I mean, you got the 144.
The real estate that it occupies, I wouldn't say is necessarily big. I mean, but I think what's big about it is the level of sophistication.
That's what I'm trying to say. That's what I'm trying to say. I mean, the 144th Falcon that I have. Well, actually, I've got 2 Falcons. Whoops! Oh, you son of a!
Is that the fine molds or the manufacturer we can't mention?
That's the Bandai one I've got.
Oh, he said it.
Well, Phil, I've got some surprises for you later on, so stay tuned.
I know you went and bought one, and then didn't you?
This one's the Revell one. This one's the Play one.
Yeah, build and play.
See. Yeah, but I managed to do some weathering on it.
Yep. Nice.
Weathering on it. Look at that. So yeah, but this one is exactly the same size. I've taken a measurement of it. This is exactly the same size as the Bandi.
Now they're gonna spell it. That's funny.
One more time and Beetlejuice shows up.
Yeah.
Bandi. Yeah, that's showtime.
You've missed an A out of that.
Yeah, B-A-Y.
Same dog, not to say the words, you know.
A-I.
Yeah, I had a dog, and this dog was obsessed by the tennis ball. And I would say, "Do you want to play ball? You want to play ball?" And every time we had to say the word ball in conversation, we had to spell it out, because she would go crazy when you said the word ball, even in a sentence. Because you know what dogs listen to? They hear blah, 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 and then ball, and then that's what they're hooked on. And then we started spelling the word, and guess what? She learned to spell. You can't.
I think Bernie's falling asleep there.
Yeah, that's when obsession gets to be a mental illness, I guess. In a dog.
Oh, there's Bernie.
Okay. Hi, Bernie. I mean, we're not ignoring you, but we are. But you know something, though? I'm sorry you're feeling lousy today, but I got to thank you for your patience getting on. I hope you're feeling a little better.
Yeah, I'm not too bad. I spent a little time in hospital. Got rushed in, when was it, back last weekend. Bit of ticker trouble. The old main pumpers control system's gone out a bit of control at the moment. Got something called, I have to read this off a prompt, paroxysmal atrial fibrillation.
Oh, you got the old AFib.
Yeah, unfortunately, but I've taken it easy for a week. Done nothing really, so nothing's changed really.
Well, having you made a workbench like you did behind you, I'd probably get AFib too.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's finally done. I'll find something to do with it soon.
Certainly got it all organized.
Yeah. Yeah, all that was piled in a corner. You never saw that corner. I can show it now, so I'm not worried about that. But
actually, Bernie, it looks like you moved.
No,
You moved to a different residence.
No, it's the same room. I'm having to. Half of it's been donated to a son. Is having a few.
Nice.
Problems with his partner, so is hanging out with us for a while. But I've managed to get something done. We're sort of leading on from what Phil was saying about sound. If you can grab the actual sound files, and there's plenty of them online, you could build a little thing like I've got on the desk here for about £1.50. That's £1.50. It runs off a coin battery. I'll just move you down. You can have a look. This thing here, I don't know if you've seen them on eBay, but they're so cheap. They're less than $1. And let's just plug it in. And this particular one, I'll put something cheesy on.
Final frontier.
But it can be any sound file you want, because it's, if I can show it.
These are the words.
Let's move it up. It takes
to explore.
Let's just shut that Shatner up a minute. It takes an SD card, a micro SD card. You can record as many sound files as you like on it. And I don't know if you saw in the brief moment you saw it, there's some solder pads on there. You can put switches on them. You can change tracks. You can change the volume. And apart from the cost of the SD card, a battery and a little speaker, you've got a fully working sound system. It's literally less than $1 off eBay for the chip, for the little circuit. Whatever you want to pay for a speaker, it'll drive any 8 or 4 ohm speaker. And as you can see, it runs off of just 3 volts. And you can tuck that away in any model you like. So, yeah.
It'd be a natural for the War Machine, yeah.
Okay, what's that called?
I'm not sure what it's actually called, but if you search on eBay for, let me see. I'll tell you what. Let me just, carry on amongst yourselves. I'll just call up eBay and find out what it was I ordered, because it's. Let's say you can buy them off AliExpress and all these other places for dead cheap. Let me see, my eBay purchase history. Here we go. They're GPD 2846A. It's a long TF card MP3 decoder player with a 2-watt amplifier, memory playback, and that I paid for 2 of them. I paid £1.55p. So if you just look for MP3 player or something, MP3 decoder board on eBay. I'm not sure how I can display a screen. I've never done it on this before. How do you display another screen, guys?
Go up to the corner.
Yeah.
Up to the side, you see that little green arrow?
Screen share, yeah.
Yep. Click on that.
Yeah.
And you'll get a window, and then it'll show a picture of your actual screen.
Right.
And then it says other screens or accessory screens.
How about that?
Yeah,
There you go.
Yeah. It's that thing here. So if you look up anything like that, I think the important thing is this number here, GPD2846A. If you look up anything on that, I think there's 2 different versions. But as I say, that's so yeah.
Okay.
And over and above that, I've been given this to make. Yeah, it doesn't require glue or paint. I think they know my abilities.
They know their market.
They know their market. Skill level 1, age 6 and above. Might be able to do that one. I haven't been able to do any more to this, which is the
D7.
It's the D7 I've been working on. It's let's put it back in the shop. It's just moment with. I've got some lights in here, and I won't bother showing you because you've all seen lights before. But that's what I'm doing for a friend of mine when I get round to it. Unfortunately, I blew a little bit of primer over it before I made it. And now I've not got anywhere to put my compressor until my son moves out. Which hopefully, well, 2 weeks' time, he's promised he's rented a house, and I'll be able to have this room back. Yeah, if my ticker keeps going, I'll start doing something.
I understand. Yeah, I understand. There's a bit of a housing shortage in the UK right now. So, if he found himself either a flat or a house, he's fortunate.
Yeah, the problem is not so much a housing shortage as a shortage of affordable housing.
Yeah.
Plenty of houses, but none of them are affordable. Now, it just so happens that because I've actually got my youngest boy still living at home as well, he and my middle son, who this is, who shares this place, have decided to go in together and rent a house for 6 months. So they managed to find something fairly local, a price they can afford. So yeah, I get my house back. Looking at it,
yeah, that's
so we can buy some models. Yeah, lots of plans, not a lot of action.
Yeah, the market here where I live is very unusual because I can't say I've ever recalled seeing the housing market here. There is a glut of buyers and like hardly any inventory, and nobody wants to build because builders are in the feeling like they can't build affordably, if that makes any sense.
What, affordably for them, for the builder, you mean?
For the builder, the profit, but then again, the profit margins are very slim in this town. They've always have. So existing properties are going up, and that's probably why I was able to sell my house in 2 days, which is in Pittsburgh, it's totally unheard of. So, yeah. But that seems to be more of a global economic thing. But then again, what does it have to do with scale modeling? Nothing. So I just understand that. Yeah, I'm not blaming your son for anything because I know it's pretty tough in the UK right now. But I know you're like wanting. Like the birds, they want to push the kids out of the nest and say, "Here, be on your own, fly on your own." You know.
Yeah.
So
I'll give you all the instructions now. You follow them. Yeah.
yeah, right. Well, it's good to see you that you're doing okay. And I hope you get on the mend, and even better yet, because yeah, it sucks to be ill. I kind of feel the same way. I've never been as heavy as I am right now, but it's part of what I'm going through. But I have to say, it's really funny because Simon said to me, he says, "Oh, I didn't realize your face was so full." He says, "Like a year ago, you looked like you had cancer. You look like you're dying." and then I did come across some, I've been going through a lot of stuff, videos and pictures and stuff. Yeah, there was a video I did a couple of years ago before I even felt that I was not well. Oh my God, he's right. I look like I was dying. I look like Skeletor. So now I look like the Stay Puffed Man in Ghostbusters. So
I think that honor goes to me.
But I take it all in stride because it is what it is, and you do what you can, just like in our hobby. So it's good to see you, Bernie.
Okay, I have one model-based question that I hope somebody can answer. I'm trying to find someone that makes a model, hopefully in about 1/12 scale or thereabouts, of a Honda CB400 motorcycle.
Yeah, Heath is the one to ask about that.
Yeah.
I think Tamiya do one.
Tamiya?
I think Tamiya do one.
I've had a look through the catalogue. I couldn't find one. I did see brief mention of one by a company called Ashura or something.
Arashima.
Arashima might.
Arashima. You got Hasegawa.
Yeah, Hiroshima, Hasegawa. Yeah.
But
There's the other two motorcycle ones.
Hasegawa have some of the best bikes.
Yeah.
The other company is Platts.
Platts.
Yeah.
Platts.
How are you spelling that?
Platz.
P-L-A-T.
It depends on what year CB400 are you looking for, Bernie?
Well, I'm looking for some at late 70s. About 77.
So that's
I'm trying to find a model of the bike I used to have, you see.
So that's before they had the flaming fairing on the front.
Yeah, it's the one I had sort of metallic maroon tank with like double piping around it.
Oh yeah. I could probably take a look for you.
Yeah.
I can take a look for you, Bernie, because I'm sure I've seen a CB400 somewhere, like a 77. I've seen it somewhere. I know I've seen it somewhere. Because I'm always going, because most of the model warehouses I go to, they do specialize in bikes and cars and stuff like that.
Right.
So there is one that I know that might have it.
Mm-hmm.
If they do have it, I'll send you the link.
Oh, brilliant! Thanks very much, Heath. That would be brilliant because I had this bike years ago. I went out probably about 10 years ago to buy another one, and they've gone up to silly prices. Even real wrecks.
It's such an old bike. Because it's such an old bike, it's an old bike, Bernie. The price just goes up every time.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I thought if I get to a small one, at least I've got something to look at.
Yeah, true. True.
Yeah, if you can, if you do hear of somewhere, Heath, that would be brilliant. Great, thanks very much.
I'm just having a look now. Let's see, motorcycles. Here we are. Let's see here. What do we got? There's a Norton 750. Yeah, Hasegawa have great. Okay, so Honda CB 400. Let's
CB
see.
404. Yeah. It's a nice looking bike. It's sort of semi-retro in styling, and I'd like to reproduce that.
Okay, hang on, 77.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see.
Just makes us change from aircraft and starships, you know.
Yeah, I've built bikes before. I've tried to build bikes before, but sometimes.
Yeah.
Oh, here we are.
Mm-hmm.
Tamiya 112 Honda CBR 400F kit, and it's a 77.
CBR, that's a different bike.
Yeah,
No.
CBR's the
Yeah, well, I'm trying to. I'll keep looking. I'll keep looking.
Sure.
you sure it wasn't a CB350?
No, it's definitely 400.
The 400, because 350 was more common. Yeah.
It was the F2. It was the second one along.
Oh, you'll have to scratch build one.
Yeah, baby steps.
Baby steps. That's a good one. That's a good one. Yeah, you're right. Baby steps.
It's yeah. Whew. Oh, what's the weather like over there? It's getting warm.
No, it's mild, but it's going to be warmer over the weekend. But we're going to have storms here, though. But I feel the humidity.
Yeah, it's supposed to be fairly humid. Luckily it's keeping all the bad weather south of the lake. So for us,
yeah, we're going to do the Canadians a favor.
That'll be an event.
Yeah, after all, we dumped those tariffs on them. Might as well keep the bad weather away, you know?
They're our enemies now. We don't.
Yeah. I understand they're going to put tariffs on imports of Harleys into Europe now.
Yeah.
You know what? I think it's just a bargaining thing that's going on. It's just business. I think it's going to go away eventually.
It's all posturing, isn't it? Saber rattling.
It's posturing. It's politics. It's just.
Just wants to go strengthen the world before he meets up with. Hi Randall.
Hi Randall. So we want to pass it off there, Bernie.
Hey, Randall's here.
You're good.
It's your twin. It's Bernie's twin, Randall.
Brother.
I can barely hear what you're saying.
I think Randall was at a model show, aren't you, Randall?
Well, I'm at a model show.
So he is.
There he is. Nice.
I thought you just invited a few friends over.
Pardon?
I thought you
That's his room
invited a
edition.
few friends over to your place.
Yeah. But this isn't this big. Yet.
Yeah.
Sorry I interrupted Bernie there.
Don't worry.
God, no.
Everybody
It's
else.
all right. I think.
Everybody else.
Oh, but are you good to go there, Bernie? You shared all you'd like to?
Yeah, I ran out of things to say 5 minutes ago. I was just...
All right, very good, very good. Well, gee, Randall, we just can't get things in edgewise like between presentations. It just keeps coming up, and you know, when we started the broadcast, I knew you were not going to be showing up, and Bernie was going to be the last because I always save the best for last, and you had to upstage Bernie because Bernie upstage flew. So, you know, it becomes what it becomes, you know?
It's a fluid thing.
Yeah. So, even when you say you're not going to show up, you still become the last guest or usual suspect on Across the Pond. Having a good time there?
Yeah, having a great time. Just wandering around, having a nosy at some of these spectacular models. I mean, the quality here just blows anything I do out of the water. You know, so if I even get so much.
But the question is,
We expect
has he
a
behaved himself?
slideshow. We expect,
Well,
Yeah.
I'll take you
We
on a small tour here as soon as I turn the camera around.
Ah, but the question is, Randall, have you behaved yourself?
Yes, I have so far.
Yeah, oh, so far, he says.
I like the way he qualifies it with so far.
yes, his pension can still buy food.
It's a 2-day event, so I mean anything can happen.
Uh-oh.
Hang on, I'm just going to try and turn the camera around here so we can take it over a short tour. There we go.
Ooh. Oh, lovely. Some nice armor there.
Cannoli. Jeez.
Okay, I've seen models of tanks before, but that takes the cake.
That's not a tank, that was a motorbike.
Well, I'm talking about the tanks behind the motorbike. Ha ha, very funny. Thank you for pointing that out.
Yeah, this one here, yeah.
Yeah, that's a nice
Yeah,
bike.
this is awesome.
I expect you to take like 5 pictures of that. So,
That's nice.
oh, lordy, 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 lordy. Good golly.
Good golly, Miss Molly. Whoa.
You know, who was it that made a comment on one of my videos? It was Ray Martin from the New Zealand. He says, "Oh, all the quality work that I shown off at Wonderfest basically was humbling, but yet encouraged him to continue, developing his skills." And this is no different. When you look at this, you say, "I'll never reach this level of building." Very
Never.
humbling, but at the same time,
Never.
it's like it inspires you to do. Yes.
Yeah, it makes
nice.
you want
That's
to
a nice
try
logo.
and at least get as close as you can to it, isn't it?
Well, that's the whole idea. It's like yoga.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't have to do the postures perfectly. You just got to try to do them. You know.
It's a nice logo there. Oh, it's a Nazi Germany train. Ew. We're not supposed to be showing them.
Oh,
How about this then for a Russian one?
That's nice. That is nice. Seriously. That is seriously good work.
And some of the figures.
Nice. Oh! Have a look at that.
George, our friend George on the chat said, "Did anyone notice all the guys at Randall's show are bald?"
Yeah.
Well, there's a reason, George, that they're bald. Look at the quality of work. They had to pull their hair out to be able to do this.
I was just taking a look at that F4 Phantom that was right near the front. That's some flaming size. Look at the size of that.
132 scale.
Oh, look at the size of that mirror. Good God. Excuse me while I say...
Is that the Spey engine? It's the Spey engine.
What's
one,
that, Bob?
isn't it? It's the British Phantom, isn't it? The Spey engines.
Yeah, it's the this one's the F4J UK. It was like a stopgap measure between when they were retired, the British Phantoms, and were about to take on the Tornado.
Right.
So they borrowed a squadron's worth of F4Js from the, I think they were U.S. Marine Corps aircraft originally.
Yeah. Look at that Spitfire in the background next to the Mustang. That is incredible work.
Wow.
There's a...
Is that the Revel 190?
Japanese. No secretly Japanese builds.
Look at that F-16. Unbelievable.
Hey, how do you get in there?
How did he get
Well,
in there?
I don't know. I remember posing for that sculpt.
No selfies.
God, I can't believe the size of that flaming body F-16. That's got to be a
That's,
120,
Sharp, isn't it?
124.
Captain Sharp, yeah.
The F-16 is another 32 scale one.
The size of that, the size of the size of that Falcon compared to the Phantom, that looks bigger than the Phantom. I'm sorry.
Hang on, I'll pull back a bit and let them. You can see both of them in the one frame. I hope.
There you
Yeah,
go.
the 16's
So the fact
16 is bigger than the Phantom by about that much.
Yeah.
They look like 48 scales, yeah.
Look at that
30
bike.
seconds go. Those ones.
There you go, Bernie. There's a bike for you, mate.
Yeah, I just seen that.
That's a beautiful bike. That's a 112, by the way. I noticed that green and yellow plane that was right next to the van there. That looks very familiar. What a lovely little van. Yeah, that's it.
That
A
one
little
there.
vanity,
Yeah.
there you go. A little
Yeah,
vanity.
I'm sure I've seen that somewhere before.
I've seen that. I remember someone complaining about the yellow.
At least I remembered the base this time.
Always helps, Randall. Always helps.
I'll keep that strip for you. Here we go.
It's what Jack was saying. Presentation is everything.
Yeah, it is.
That's a small bike.
One of those
That's what 350.
350 scale.
All right.
Okay, so the 350 scale. How come the Enterprise is so freaking big?
This is mind-bendingly small.
Oh, wow.
You would have to have a lot of patience to build that. Seriously.
And a tiny.
That's beautiful. That is absolutely beautiful.
It may be small, but it carries a big stick.
Hang on a minute. I'm gonna have to turn you upside down. There we go. That's better.
All I'm seeing is blur.
Right, nearly got in the way of the judges there. So right. Oh, yeah.
It's just a blur.
Oh,
Oh my lord. That's cute. That's cute.
737.
Your favorite color,
where
of
else would you
course.
put Marge's tail?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was about to say that, Jack. Oh, that looks familiar too.
Oh, that looks familiar too.
Yeah. The green and yellow monstrosity.
Yeah, so
Oh,
I remember
there's two of
someone
them there.
saying he hated the yellow. God, that's a small van.
Wow.
Oh, hello.
Then it was a horrible earthquake.
That's a nice. Look at that. Oh, Jack's. You know what? Jack is right. Presentation is everything. Presentation is everything. And look at that big beast. Good God. Someone really went to town on that.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's what is that? That's a
F-16C.
F-16.
F-16C Falcon.
Yeah, I have an F-16A in a kit.
Look at that. Good God.
I was just looking. Does it say whether that's the Revel kit?
Ah, there's my girl. There's the Spitfire. My favorite World War II aircraft. And then there's this. Look at the flame. Good
Focus,
God.
focus, focus, focus.
Focus,
There we are.
focus. Look at that. Jeez. There's that beautiful. There's my other favorite World War II aircraft. The Mustang. Love that.
That's the Tamiya 32 scale.
You know what? It's amazing how much time these guys take to build these things. Oh, here she comes. Here she is. Here she is to wreck the day. You know what? I'll tell you what. The one thing I love about that Spitfire is that it was the only plane that the Messerschmitt Bf-109 could outrun because of the fuel. Because of the fuel, and just because of that. Otherwise, the Spitfire would be. Oh no! Now this is impressive. This is impressive.
Oh yeah, found it.
Unbelievable. I take great appreciation in people who build these armor kits, and they make it look so easy. But I know it's not. Unbelievable. Oh, Sherman. Next to that's a Tiger tank, I think.
Firefly.
Surprised there's no half tracks there.
No half tracks, funny enough.
Yeah.
Further up, I noticed a couple.
Then
Anyway, back over to here. Oh, here we go. That looks familiar.
There we go.
yeah,
That looks familiar.
I actually had an accident with this when I was setting it on the table. It fell off its stand and
Oh,
broke
no.
into flying buttress, whatever things are. But thankfully somebody had brought along glue. The one show I forget to bring along glue is the one show I break something.
Yeah.
Murphy's Law.
And that one looks familiar too.
This one, its last outing. I think people are getting fed up looking at this.
What scale
I
is that?
can't imagine that
What?
people get fed up looking at that.
What scale is that, by the way, Randall?
350.
I've actually seen the big one that D'Agostini have brought out. The big Thunderbird too.
That one would be
That'd be-
144 scale.
Where's Thunderbird 1? I thought you would have brought Thunderbird 1 with you.
It's already been to this show, so I didn't really want to enter it again.
I've got to go, guys. Just for now.
Okay.
Okay,
Bye.
Bernie.
Okay, Bernie.
See you, Bernie.
Bye, Bernie.
Hey, Bernie.
See ya, Bern. Oh, Jamie was on both. Ha 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 ha. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you.
That window is a little open. Oops, flies too. Look.
Oops.
Sunshine in Belfast.
Oh
Is
wow.
that meant to be part brown or what?
It is lit. Yep, it is lit. Why would they put that next to a window and it's lit? Watch
I don't
that. All
know.
the lights on it.
Some fool must have put
It's
it
not
there.
part brown. I think it's the tungsten lights of the building that's giving it that orange hue.
All right. I still want that kit.
Okay.
There's the classic view there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Still want that kit.
I suppose what I should do is turn the camera around this way and then do a backwards pan.
Oh, here we go. God's sake. Why? Why does everybody do that? Well, I suppose it's the classic scene that we see in Star Wars. Oh, now we're talking here. Ah, the F-35 Lightning. Hmm.
This is the Banshee F2H2.
Ah, that's a nice kit.
Nicely put together.
Mm. Oh, of course, yeah. Look at that.
Crusader, the Corsair's
Sorry,
big cousin.
Crusader. Crusader. Yeah, sorry. That's the photo taken one. That's the one. That's the. Ooh, A for Skyhawk. Saw one of them the other day. Flying over my house. Oh, now, I'm sorry. You can talk about your VTOL aircraft. You can talk about the F-35 Lightning. That is the most beautiful aircraft, VTOL aircraft I have ever seen. The Harrier. Love it. Love the Harrier.
21 there.
The MiG-21. MiG-21 fish bed. Another Harrier out the back there. What the hell? Is that a Voodoo?
It's a Fuga Magister.
Magister. It's a two-seat trainer that the Irish Air Corps used.
All right. That Harrier behind, is that the British one? Is that the long nose?
That's the kinetic kit of the two-seater.
Yeah, that's the Sea Harrier.
Two-seater.
It's the trainer.
Yeah. Which I think actually looks sleeker than the ordinary single-seat Harrier.
I'm sorry, I prefer single seat. Now here we are. Now here we go. Here we go. Now we're talking about real aircraft. Real aircraft. We're talking the F-18 Hornet here. And there's that beautiful beast again, the Phantom. Beautiful. Oh, that looks like a Kiefer. Kiefer 21?
Yeah, Kafir, yep. That's the one.
Yeah, the F-16 has that thing for lunch.
All the
Jaguar.
All the sci-fi guys are very quiet right now.
Oh, here come the choppers.
Chinook.
Yep.
Chinook. Beautiful. Iroquois? No, sorry, Sea King.
Sea King.
Well, it's Sikorsky HC4 Commando.
Yeah, it's the one without the sponsons, the flotation sponsons.
I think I know this one.
Wessex.
Yeah, the Wessex.
Really?
Lynx.
Oh, there's a bell.
It's the Lynx.
There you go. There's some more German World War II stuff. Another Spitfire. Mark IV by the look of it.
There's a Mr. Schmidt 109 G6 there.
Yeah, that's a beautiful. Catalina. Look at that.
It's a Walrus.
Oh, sorry. Sorry. Catalina's only got one climate link. It still has the engine on top of the. Still has the engine on top.
Big spud up the back there.
Yeah. That's the one that flew in Vietnam.
I'll tell you what, those things, they flew with so many stores under the
mosquito
ground.
Roadfighter.
Yep. Bow
fighter.
Yep.
Sorry.
A couple of wildcats.
Yep, I thought so.
Are those familiar wildcats by any chance?
Yep.
Oh, they're not yours.
My efforts there.
Yeah,
Ah,
I thought they were.
thought they were. I like the blue one myself. That's a beautiful one.
Oh, fuck off.
What is that thing?
That's the German mosquito.
HF 129. It's an anti-tank aircraft.
That explains the big cannon at the front of the nose.
A10 of its day.
That explains the big cannon. There's a 0 for you.
It's,
There's a 0 for you.
0.
You were saying about Japanese, Jack? There you go. Oh, blackbird. Little bird.
I remember what that is. No.
Tornado.
Starting to lose my grip on the phone here.
He's losing his grip. He's losing his grip.
It's,
Yeah, that's
So
the
that
one I
was-
like.
so that island is suffering its first big earthquake.
That's the marine one.
I'm actually frightened of dropping the phone here because it's the first thing it'll land on is somebody else's model.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
That would certainly make you very popular.
Yeah, I certainly wouldn't win any prizes anymore anyway.
That's beautiful.
How's that for
Ugh.
captured Focke-Wulf 190?
That's a bit. That car's a bit bright. Ugh. That's a nice one. I like that one. Look at the engine in there. God's sake.
So this is the this is in Belfast, and this is the what show is this? Which IPMS show?
It's the Northern Ireland Modelers Association show in Belfast. It's not actually IPMS affiliated, but there is an IPMS stand just outside the hall.
Can't fix Phantom there.
You're Heath Miller Phantom.
Yeah. That looks like the Airfix one. That
Yeah,
looks like
it
the
is, yeah.
Airfix one.
That's the one, yeah.
You've got one of them, haven't you, Randall?
I have, yes.
Look at that. The bubble top P51 Mustang. That's either the C or the D.
Beautiful.
Whoa, that's a weird looking top.
Camo of hormone, is that?
Yep. Now, you're going to have to squint for the next ones because these are all 144 scale.
Yeah, I can
Take
see
the
that.
glasses then.
Oh, that Crusader looks alright. That looks like a 172. Good God. Some of these guys. Good God. Unbelievable. Oh, someone's had a bit of landing trouble.
I don't get the impression there's any difference. Yeah, we'll have to start somewhere. Yeah, we're going to start somewhere. I believe so.
That's
I'm getting in the way of the judges here, so I'm going to have to back off for a bit.
All right.
No, that's fine.
Yeah, well, you gotta do a slideshow and give us a presentation once you get back. All right, Randall.
Yep, that'll be.
Was that a female?
Female.
Yeah,
So
we
Ferengi.
we do have.
There
There you are.
That's just a disguise.
Randall, you know Kathy's going to kill you.
Well, it depends on what her shopping bill's going to be like.
Oh, nice. Well, thank you very much, Randall, for sharing live the show in Belfast. But certainly we'll see him. I think we may have lost him there.
Yeah, I think
So
we have.
we do have to move on. We do have more to share. I mean, if you are all patiently waiting with a bated breath,
That's me done for now. I seem to have lost the picture, but I can still hear you guys. I don't know if you can still hear me.
We can hear you,
Okay.
but we
Can hear
can't
you.
see you.
Yeah.
Let
So
me.
Was that a line in Star
I'll,
Trek?
I'll sign off. I'll sign off for now. So I'll catch you all tomorrow night.
All
We
right,
will,
great.
Randall.
Later.
All
Okay.
right, bye, Randall.
Bye,
Bye.
Randall.
Well,
Nearly 11:30.
still wanted to share the other uh, community cover. This would be the BSG diorama.
Mark 7 Viper.
Yeah, this diorama is by John Hurt, member of the Google Plus community. And basically, this diorama is self-lit. I mean, the way he photographed it was actually very clever in how he did this. Let's see if I can do a little bit of a slideshow here. Take care of the background there, and as I like the scuffing that he's got on this diorama, the
Looks like I had a bit of a
deck
trouble
is-
landing.
yeah, flight deck being a little scuffled there. Yeah, this is as you can see, you got the lights here. The way he's got it photographed too, he's got an external light, of course, to do this. I mean, these little lights can't do the whole thing, but at least he's giving the illusion that those lights are doing the job of lighting the whole diorama. Again, I guess this theme for community covers, I didn't really think of it ahead of time, is again plating or presentation of your builds. It doesn't, like I said, it doesn't have to be a particularly special build, but you can certainly make it look special if you plate it just right, or display it or pose it just right. You know who's good about this is Mark Dunmore, although he's a phenomenal Gundam builder, but he certainly knows how to show off his work. And here's a nice close-up. It is its own right a superior build. It's got the textured metal on his ladder there. Looks like an anodization of the colorant on the ladder there. And on the other side, on the left side, looks like photo etch, much the same. And if you look close enough at the hull of this thing, it is a bit scuffed up a little, you know. So it does have
laser fire or something like that.
Right. It does have some realism associated with this build, and I can really appreciate it. I can really appreciate this kind of a build. And so there you have the next to John Hurt and his BSG build and diorama. And there was mentioned before, I think it was George that was asking about the Jupiter console. It was in the robot room.
Mm-hmm.
And Matt took a picture of it, and the radar left and right were in motion. The lights above were flashing on and off. As with all of those sci-fi shows in the day, hey, no rhyme or reason or sense as to, but it looked like it was of use. So these builds these were actually very cool, and I do have a shot of one of the D9s.
Danger!
Yeah, this has actually been quite interesting. They did flash on and off. One did talk, pre-recorded. It had pre-recorded lines.
That's a beauty shot.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was the B9.
It is.
B9. Now, what am I saying? D9. B9. Yes.
Someone's thinking Klingon.
Yeah. Well. And there's Matt to give you some idea of scale. It was pretty tall.
That's a pretty 1-to-1 scale.
It is. One was considered to be a costume, to be used as a costume, put a person with the right size in it. And as with the TV show, there was somebody inside it, of course, but some of them were even automated. One did move about, spin about, and talk. And there's the...
Oh, look at that pretty picture. It's a Kodak moment.
Yeah, certainly.
My God, so... Jack, you are tall.
And there was a couple of people that were about the show, and the one that struck Matt the most was this, I guess he was in the 80s?
Mr. T! Pity the fool.
Yeah.
Was that actually Mr. T?
No. But boy, this guy certainly looked like him.
Yeah, with the mohawk.
Mr. T is all wrinkly and haggard, so.
Imitation T.
Yeah, he's got a few years on. But this guy even sounded like him, acted like him. He was actually he was cosplaying there, and I'm glad he showed up. He was a lot of fun. And I think, Wonderfest does collect a bunch of characters, this being one of them. And that's what made the whole weekend sort of enjoyable. It just completed the package, so to speak. Now I got to quickly hurry and get this show wrapped up, and I still want to share a few things. Bring my camera. It wasn't all model kits for me. It wasn't all model kits for me. It was also some tools, and these are the things: 3 tweezers and some dental picks here that I needed just to do scribe lines, and of course the tweezers are the negative tension ones.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
These are great. I've already used this to hold my. Oop, that's a little blur. I'm doing the engine block right now for the Trans Am, Firebird Trans Am, and I use my tweezers here to hold the parts while paint was drying. So I've already gotten use with particularly this one. And the lady who was selling these, says, oh, you can do it this way too. You can pick up a part. Is there a part laying around? Here's a part. Let's see. I can do this with one hand. And then you can flip it around and set it on your workbench like that.
Oh, wow.
So told me right away. These are stainless steel. These are high quality. Lou will attest that this stand had very high quality stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Which means it would have cost a pretty penny.
Actually, this set of 6 here was $20.
Hey, that's not bad.
Yeah,
that's good.
That's not bad at all.
So I needed a little ruler for
ruler.
centimeters, and of course the drill bit type holes here to size them. On the other side is the imperial measure. One side's metric, imperial. That's what I liked about this, because I needed a little one. Because I'm going to start, when I start doing scratch builds, I'm going to be using the metric system. So,
and a little 6-inch screw-it scale is handy.
Yes, very much so. Because I have that there, and it's a foot long, and
it's awkward at times.
It's awkward at times, exactly. So I bought one of these, and I like the fact that it's got these holes to measure drill bits. Because,
not only that, they're really useful for scribing various size circles.
Yeah.
Yeah, there too. Yeah, that too. So I got that. It was an all fun and games with the kids. In fact, when I go back next year, I mean, this woman had, oh my God, an unbelievable amount of different things. And I hate to say it, I only spent 5 minutes just going to what attracted me, because next year, if she were to show up, I am going to spend more time at her vending and really take a look and buy some more stuff, because this stuff, the stuff that she had was high quality, like these tweezers, what we normally would call tweezers. This is the first time I opened them up. Came in different sizes. Well, the reason I bought this is because of that nice fine little point there. And they came in different lengths and sizes, and they had forceps there. She had forceps. There's a little tough, so I gotta squeeze on it. I will crush your parts, among other things.
Also, crush your finger.
So, yeah, I mean, it was unreal what she had, but at the same time, it says, yeah, I'll just devote another $20, maybe $40 next year to buying
Actually,
that.
Jack, that Nebulon Beef cruiser that you showed in the photo section of the video, how big was that thing?
Oh, it was
Star Wars ship.
5 or 6 feet long.
Oh, you mean the Star Destroyer?
No, the big
Oh, not the
medical
Star-
cruiser.
no,
that
the
Jason
medical
had
cruiser.
in his booth.
Medical
the
frigate.
medical cruiser. Yeah, it was. I'd say 6 foot at least, if not even longer. I mean, it was big. It was big.
That's almost studio scale, wouldn't it be?
I think that's what they were shooting for.
Yeah, and what's interesting is that there was a picture in there that had openings to show interior, but the interiors weren't 3D; they were just 2D transparencies that were back, which is fine. I mean, it gave
That
you
was
that
a big ship. Well, just by looking at it, you can tell it's a big.
Yeah, it gave you the impression of an interior and scale. So if all who are watching don't know what we're talking about, check one of my videos that I posted on the Amazing Scale Modelers.
I think it's the first one.
Is it the first video?
Right near the end. Right near the end.
Okay, yeah, it was a weekend in a nutshell. Wonderfest, a weekend in a nutshell. You will see that 3 photos. I do remember putting 3 photos up of close-ups.
There we go. Lou's got it up now.
Oh, okay.
Oh
Very
my
good.
God, that looks like it's right out of the movie.
Yeah, that's just a 2D. That's not 3D interior.
That's what I'm talking about. Look at that.
Yeah.
And it's even got the Falcon there. Oh my God.
The Falcon? I missed that.
Underneath the.
Yeah, in our upper right-hand corner. There you go.
Yeah. Because where in the movie, where Luke, Leia, and the droids are, if you move down the side, you'll see the Falcon hanging down.
Mm-hmm.
It was a big ass model. I'll tell you what, it was a big ass model.
On a table there.
You would hate to put it on a. It would. Oh,
But,
Oh, yes.
there he is. There he is.
Yes. And in the same video of mine, Matt took a video of it beeping and moving about. And there's a little maybe 2 or 3 year old girl approached it, so you could see that R2 was a little taller than she was. Yeah, that's yeah, amazing stuff. Amazing.
That looks like it still needs to be painted.
Oh yeah, but they're showing here on the right. They're showing all the kits that went into it.
Oh bloody hell!
That was
supported on only the one pillar.
Oh, interesting.
Oh no, there's.
Yeah, you took a lot more pictures than I had. I took because this is when I started going into this is a dealer room actually. This is where the lady was selling the tools in this room.
What I love, and I didn't get a good picture of, is right here in the right-hand side of the screen in the middle. is a recreation of the spaceship from Josie and the Pussycats in outer space. I love that kit. It's like, that's the back end of it. But it looked like the Discovery up front and then a long tube in the back. But yeah, these are all the kits that were donor kits for this.
I can see a couple of battleship hulls there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you know what you're looking at, these are like upside down submarine hulls, and
that looks like a solid rocket booster from Flaming the Shuttle.
Mm-hmm. But this gentleman right here is Jason Eaton. He's the guy that was behind all of these builds.
Good God, that would have taken immense time. A hell of a lot of time. Just
immense amount of money too. This is not cheap stuff. This is big boy stuff.
Yeah,
I'd have been perfectly happy with the 12-inch model of that. You know,
is that a 1-to-1 scale? Was that a 1-to-1 scale Cylon?
I think that's bigger.
Yeah, I think it's bigger than studio size.
Because the Mobius kit was studio scale.
Yeah. The Mobius is probably, what do you say, Lou, about 10, 11 inches across from tip to tip, wing tip to tip?
Good foot. It's a bit wider than that.
But this is closer to 2 feet wide.
Yeah, this was bigger than studio scale.
It looks like he's still building the Nebulon.
Yeah, I think it's an ongoing thing.
Because you got one side with all the stuff on, and then when you turn it around, you got all the bits that need to be done.
Well, needless to say, Mark Dunmore infected me and encouraged me to go to the dark side.
Uh-oh, he did it.
Maybe I'm going to build this up soon. I was told this is...
Oh, it's the Gundam.
It's your entry drug. It's your entry. It's your gateway drug.
It's my gateway drug for a Gundam.
Yep.
And I talked to the guy. He was a really nice guy about Gundams. I asked him. I'd never done a Gundam. I actually pulled up on my phone a couple of Mark's work and showed him, and he was just like blown away with Mark's work because this is this guy's passion. He says, "Oh, he's now seen somebody better than he builds." Huge compliment for Mark Dunmore. He's still not only at his personal pinnacle, but he's at a lot of other people's goals. Just like I said, you go to a place like this, and as the gentleman in New Zealand was saying, it's humbling. It's even discouraging to see people do such good work, but at the same time, it sort of eggs you on to challenge you. This is what this hobby is about, is challenging you. So, and he encouraged me to do this one.
Ooh, nice one.
Finis, yeah.
So all of you are I'm not familiar at all with Gundam, so this would be...
There's that word that shall not be spoken.
All I know about Gundams is they have rounded ones and spiky ones.
Yes, exactly. And
I'm more a Macross person myself.
Yeah.
And to prove that I truly made a full journey to the dark side.
He had to, didn't he? You just had to, didn't you, Jack?
Uh-huh.
Well,
You had to.
Oh, that's the one with you've got you got that in there as well.
Yep.
You got
The tiny
Litten
one
in there
and
as
the
well.
bigger one. Yep. That's what the gentleman said.
Nice.
And this was on the last day, and Lou is right. Whenever they close the contest room and they start doing the award ceremony, the vendors start scrambling, and there's so few people. What's interesting, the first day it's shoulder to shoulder packed, but when they do that at the end, there's like nobody. Well, nobody. There's few people, very few people on the vendor floor, and the vendors are basically grabbing your hand, saying, "Here, buy this. I don't want to leave.
I don't want to take it home." Yeah.
And this guy did just that. He said, "You don't have anything in your hands. You have to buy these." And then he told me what the price was, and this is what the price he gave. Not gave it to me. I bought this for $20.
Yeah.
That's nice. That's
And if
nice.
if I would have had some foresight, I would have bought the TIE Fighter, and I would have bought a bunch of other of these. But this is the one that attracted me only for this reason right here.
The Red Squadron.
No, the
Red
special
Squadron.
setup too.
Yeah, the ones with the 144th and the 172.
I felt I got 2 kits for the price of $20. So yes,
Yeah.
Jack has gone
Come
over
here,
to the
come
dark
here,
side.
come here, come here.
And his training is complete.
That's
yeah.
like that's like when I went to my local model shop, not model shop, but model show, when they came up with the judging. The dealer room was just deserted.
Yeah.
Just deserted. And he's going, and the people, I mean, I only took so much with me. I already bought my kits like when I first got there. Oh, come, buy. I'm going, you let go of my hand.
Yeah, it's definitely Lou warned me about that ahead of time, and he's right. Maybe I shouldn't have been in there as long. I should have done the contest room day 1 and the vendors room day 2. That's going to be next year. I'm going to flip it around next year. That's how I'm going to schedule my. I did take a couple of another just the a documentary, but I took a class. I don't know what you call them. Talks. Seminar. There you go. And this is a picture of, I'm sure Lou knows who this gentleman is. His presentation was absolutely delightful. Come on. What happened here? Okay, came up. He was absolutely delightful. And this is the workshop was called My First Garage Kit or something like that.
My First Resin Kit?
My First Resin Kit.
That's Tom Grossman. That's Tom Grossman, and in the back is Crazy Joe.
Yeah, and he was absolutely delightful, and he started with most of you here probably know all about resin kits, but we're going to start from 101 because there's people in here that need to buy one of these things, and they got to know what they're buying. And he went through what is a injection mold, how garage kits are actually made, what techniques are used, and whenever you look at a resin kit that's being sold, how do you know it's a copy, a rip-off of an original, how you can tell an original. Very informative. I don't know if I would ever buy a resin kit to paint. I would say once my painting skills come up to a level that I feel that I can do it. He said how to prepare one, how to assemble one. Boy, I mean, in an hour, he put a lot of information there out there, and we had to leave early, maybe 5 minutes early, so we can catch the next one, which for me was the 3D. Let's see where this falls into the scheme of things.
Did you talk about what a nightmare that time machine kit was?
No, I didn't get. I don't think I got him to say that much.
That's the one that's on the upper right-hand corner of the screen. It's notorious. It's a notoriously difficult kit to put together.
Yes. I don't recall that, but that's okay. But I just wanted to show that there's just a room, and between the two presentations that I went to, his was probably the most professional and on many levels, and he was also fun to listen to, delightful to watch. And next was a gentleman. And I have to be somewhat critical of this guy because I think he was coming from the direction that I was not exactly able to relate to. He owns a 3D printing company. And I don't recall his name or the name of his company, but he was talking about 3D printers in a range of 50 to like hundreds of thousands of dollars. And for someone in the hobby, I think he was just a little too far above.
Yeah.
A little too far. And he was talking about the resin printers and not the PLA printers that we would all get involved with.
Right.
But he did. There's a printer that he uses that's in the background. I'm not even sure what the name of it is.
He printed that beard, I think.
Yes, but this is one of the prints that a resin print can do. He said this took about 3.5 days to print. Yeah, you heard me right. 3.5 days.
That's about right.
Yeah, and wonderful detail. And this also maybe took almost as long.
Yeah.
That's Venom.
Still on the Hangout at the moment. It's still live at the moment.
And this is what we would be doing with the PLAs.
So just knock maybe on the door when you get here, and I'll sort of, I can come down.
So
support structure on that, yeah.
He did get involved with the support structures and splicing. Oh, there's Mr. T again. Splicing your models, your 3D models, and doing it. But I think he was a little too heavy on that resin printer,
or his focus is more on the industrial machines than the home machines. Yeah.
Yes, and quite frankly, that stuff is toxic when it's in fluid form. And I don't see us casually, me particularly using it for maybe more than casual, but I would never get into it. He showed pictures of what it looks like in production. It's like, it's a mess. It's like, no, I can't do that. I don't even want to clean my airbrush. How am I going to clean that stuff up? And it's toxic. Come on. Come on, really. So all I can say is I went to the show and all I got was this lousy T-shirt.
That was a good one. That was a good one.
That was supposed to be funny.
It
Lousy T-shirt right there. So, anyway, that's what I have to share. Boy, we're doing it 2.5 hours already, almost. So if all of you watching live have hung in there, thank you so much for watching. And those are in replay, have gotten this far from the beginning to the end. You probably put a few pieces of...
Go get a life. Get a life.
Get a life.
You've already put a few pieces of plastic together in your builds, and I hope that we didn't distract you too much, because this was a very packed, full show between Wonderfest and the show in Belfast. Thank you, Randall, for sharing all of that. Boy, that was unexpected, but it was certainly a treat. I hope you all agree. And also, Jamie tried tuning in, and sorry we couldn't get to Jamie. And Bernie, thank you for stopping by as well. And I want to thank everybody, even George. It was a little quiet over chat, I think. George was working. He has to work every third week, so I guess every other show he ends up working. It seems like during a show, but he tried to stay tuned in, but he was working. He was at his job. And Dave showed up for a moment there, as well as Ken Skippington showed up there. Thank you, both of you, for participating in the live chat, although we didn't get much to you guys. But you guys weren't necessarily talking either. So. And I want to thank everyone who came here, especially Heath. Go to bed, Heath.
No, I'm not tired yet.
You're not tired yet.
I just realised Heath has stayed for the entire Hangout. It's amazing.
He hasn't done that in a while.
That's only because I've got a public holiday Monday. Too.
All right, very good. And also, thanks, Jim.
Oh, you're welcome.
Go out and enjoy the weather. I'm gonna make that attempt too.
I will. I will go out and look at some 1-to-1 tanks and that.
1-to-1 tanks. You know, there was a news report here in the States that I guess it was an armored personnel carrier that was stolen and taken on for a joyride.
Yeah.
And it turned out it was a drunk serviceman.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, that's not good PR for the military now, isn't it?
No, it's not.
But it was actually kind of amusing because it was considered a slow chase because those things don't go any faster than 40 miles an hour. So
Yeah, you want to
he
try
ended
doing a pit maneuver on one though.
he ended up crashing, and they apprehended him, and he's going to be punished, of course, accordingly. But I'm sure his commanding officers privately are cracking up. But but nobody got hurt. Amen. A little bit of property got damaged, but nobody got hurt, and that's the important thing. And Lou, you're taller than I thought you were.
I'd have to be.
You've got legs.
I do.
I have to say it was a joy meeting you in person.
You don't have to say it, but it's nice.
No, I have to say it was.
The
It
check's
was
in the mail.
and you were busy that weekend with all your friends. Great. It was good to see camaraderie even there. That in the hobby you have this second nature of modelers hooking up and sharing their passion with each other. And to see a group like Lou's, it was great. It was absolutely great.
Steinbeck was there too?
Sternbach was there too, yeah.
Sternbach was there.
Yeah, he was there. And I ran into Randy Cooper, if anybody knows who Randy Cooper is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I kind of felt bad because it was sort of like I seemed like a stalker at first. Hi, you're Randy Cooper? He's like, yeah. And I said, well, I follow you on Facebook. Okay.
I'm watching you.
But once we started talking about the hobby, he did open up and he realized I wasn't a stalker. I was just a fan trying to be polite. To just actually recognize him. And of course, Simon Merckx, old Simon Merckx. It's really funny. I was sitting in the lobby just like Lou the next day. I don't know what I was sitting there for. And then I heard this voice behind me and I'm like, it's Simon. And I turned around, sure enough, it was Simon and Steve, his cameraman. So you never know who you run into. And continuing on, I digress. Thanks, Phil, for showing up and with ear infection and all. And
the ear infection's gone now, but
oh, okay.
The memory lingers on.
Oh,
And
yes.
just as I said earlier, it's good that the Great Britain is not a seismic active part of the world, because if it ever shook a little bit in that room, you'd be killed alive or not killed dead.
Buried alive.
Landing on top of you. But what a way to go, huh?
I can think of worse ways.
I'm sure you could. I'm sure you could. Anyhow, imagination cranking. So thank you all for being patient and watching. If you stick with us, either in replay or on live especially, thank you all for your participation, even if you're watching, commenting, make suggestions, like. Hey, this is all about you guys, and thanks. And happy modeling. Tomorrow, we're going to have the Sunday Hangout. Jim and I haven't conspired yet, so we're going to see what we can find out.
What do you mean? It's not tomorrow
That
yet?
scares me when you two get together, you know.
Conspired meaning figure out as to what we're going to talk more specifically about specific stuff. So anyhow, happy modeling, everyone. And that's it. Bye.
See you later, guys.
Live long and prosper.